Monday. Good morning, morning. December 29th. It's almost New Year's 2026. So that's exciting. This is going to be a great year. So we're back. We're back at work. We're back doing our thing. Over the weekend, I hope everybody had a super great Christmas. We did. But we've also had plenty of conversations about what's coming up next and what new ventures we have going on with tiny houses on wheels, with affordable housing, with alternative housing, with other people coming out of the woodworks for new projects, with new subcontractors and general contractors that's come forward that they want to help out with building and manufacturing. Land people have come forward in the next, I don't know, probably this week. Today's Monday. Yeah. We might have some really, really, really big news about land. And it should be coming in today. I'm pretty sure. So just stay tuned because that one's going to be super awesome. That's coming soon. The Yeah movement is evolving in a good way, very good way. And we have now future mentorship. So we have other cousins and friends and relationships that we're tying ourselves into because, Araya and I, we don't know everything. We don't know what we're really doing all the time. Just most of the time we're right. So we just know we have to go in this direction. We don't know all the fine-tuning, super crazy details like we're getting paid a salary and we are the city manager, okay? And so we just know we're mostly right. And so we know that gathering together with community dinner with city council members and the people and walking tiny houses and touching it and imagining that this is real and letting more and more people know that tiny houses on wheels in Mount Shasta is approved. It is approved. We just made history. It wasn't approved before. We could never move it in. And like we said before, and we'll touch on some more, that multi-generational, intergenerational, especially our young high schools and our elementary schools, kids and where they are going, especially in this AI age, the type of pressures that our younger kids are going to get, us in our 40s we won't even comprehend it. Anyone that's in their 60s has no clue at all, and there's no way they could. And then if there's any council members or county members that's past 65 and closer to 80, love and light. But there is zero way for them to understand what the challenges are of 2025 moving into 2026. Not even close. And so if our leadership is based off of the 40-year-olds, I think our 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds, we all need to start learning what it's like to be next to council. And then every council member, the sannyasins, the 50, 65-year-olds need to start handing the torch off to the 40-year-olds and teaching them how to work council seats. Because what most small towns in Siskiyou County is not preparing for is there's going to come a decade, which is this decade, from 25 to 35. Within this decade, 4 out of 5 seats of every small town in Siskiyou County will all be empty. It'll all be empty at the same time. And nobody's anticipating this. That's a problem. It's a problem because it's not an ageist thing. It's just practicality. And especially in an AI age, we have passed the tech age. We've passed the internet age. We've passed the information age, way past the industrial age. That doesn't matter at all now. And we have firmly moved into the AI age. And you cannot have 75-year-old dominant average age, 4 out of 5 councilmen on every council in Siskiyou County. You can't. Here's 5 seats of every council. This is what every council needs to hear today. 3, which is more than half, 3 out of 5 need to be about 40 years old. 50, 40, 45, 45, 35 to 45. You need that. And everybody that's about 55 to 65 on average needs to transfer the knowledge of how to run the town to the 35 to 45. You need both. You need intergenerational councils. I don't know why it feels like I'm yelling. I'm sorry if it does, but that's so old. That's such an old paradigm. That's not new stuff. Every great council that's managed massive resources for a long time, long decades and decades, thousands of years, has always had intergenerational councils. That's not new. That's old. And so in 25, moving over to 26, what I'd like to see is more people going to your own city council, find out your budget, find out what your population's average age is, find out what your housing medium income is, find out what your housing medium sales price is, and ask yourself, can your high schoolers and elementary schoolers move into your house? Is there industry enough for them to make any form of a living? If not, what are we going to do about it? Ask yourself, is more than half, 50%, is 3 out of 5, or just 5 out of 5, really, most? Is there any council members that's about 50 or younger? 45 or younger? And what every council needs to start thinking about is more than half. You need 3 out of 5 seats. Needs to be 55 or younger. Needs to be 45. Just has to be. Because the age that we're moving into is going to require younger. You're going to need both. That's why it always worked. You're going to need the young to learn to know the challenges of today, and you're going to need the wisdom of the old to navigate it. It's always been like that. That's where we're going. 10 years from now, is all of our small towns going to turn into townships? My mistake about McLeod, it was never incorporated. It was always a township. Thank you for the 17 people that yelled at me for that. Cool. Still yet. Is there a high probability that you guys don't know what your budget is for your town? Let's just say $1 million. And is there a high probability that you guys don't know what your expenses are? Let's say $500,000. And which means you have about 2 years to get more grants or increase your property taxes, since our baby boomers are graduating and since Roseburg is losing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's some changes. Is our sales tax low? Is our sales tax high for tourists to help us pay for our stuff? And if we hit 0, what happens? Even if it does hit 0 and starts to slowly move into a township, what are we thinking about our kids in high school and elementary school? Can they really jump into a skidder in the woods anymore? Can they really jump on a hay baler and make hay anymore? I mean, just look at fire insurance alone, just that alone. So there's so many different little challenges throughout that all of us can pick one tiny little issue in our own little town and spend 5 minutes a day times 365 days and probably come up with one pretty good solution and bring it together. And if you have to make a community dinner, and if you have to spend your own money and bring council members and the community together in order to create a space for solutions to thrive, then that's what you got to do. That's my initiative to all of you to make it happen. I call this the great transition, the great shifting, the great shift. It's really just a great passing of the torch. I've been saying this for a long time, but this decade and next decade is beyond crucial. It's the biggest transfer of everything ever. And the baby boomer, elder, kupuna stages, I'd say most of them are good. I'd say most of them want to share their knowledge. They just don't have any students or apprentices or the younger generation that's grounded enough to learn. But then there are a small few of kupunas and elders that they just don't want to share it. They've been burned so many times by the younger generation of not being grounded enough to carry a torch that they just said, nah, I'm just going to take it to the grave, even though I have no kids and my will is willed to nobody. Yeah, we're just going to bury the talents now. So I'm here to inspire those elders and those leaders that wake up and get that spark back, because we can start to send you students that are grounded, that are awakened, that has gone through life enough times that they can hold the torch better. Vice versa. Talking to the younger generation, my generation or younger, the ones, especially the ones with a 15-second attention span and zero work ethic and every thing that you see on the news, yeah, that's all got to change. So for my generation and younger, the biggest transfer of all energy is about to happen right now. And if you can hold a business plan together, or your life together, or take care of your personal self and then learn how to take care of others, you gotta stand up right now. You just gotta use this as a New Year's resolution for you today. 2026, you gotta step up and you gotta stand up. If you're my generation and whatever, I can't talk negatively, but work more, okay? Handshake harder. Get out. Stop being in your house so much. Get out in the cold elements. Use something with your hands. Grab a hammer. Grab a shovel. Do something. But you gotta get respect of the elders. And the way you get that is there's a parable that says, I chop wood, I carry water. I chop more wood, I carry more water. And then I chop even more wood and I carry even more water. That parable is all about service. You got to learn how to serve, serve, serve. The more that people see that your genuine authenticity is service, the upliftment of all boats rise, the wind in all sails, the multi-generational solution-based philosophy and paradigms that you have, that your energy is used at 40, 50 hours for your personal family and then another 10, 20 hours for the community weekly. The more trust you gain, the more influence you have, the more energetic power you have. And then there's some skills that in our generation we need to learn now, because Eugene and Redding, and then Eugene and Sacramento next year is done. They're totally at a whole nother level. And then Redding and Medford will follow. And then when that happens, Siskiyou will follow next. So they're about 1 year behind each other on average. Siskiyou's a couple years behind everybody on average. But it doesn't mean that this wave is not coming. It is coming. And our generation needs to figure this stuff out and work harder to figure it out. Because if we don't figure it out, I promise on everything in my whole life, the high schoolers and elementary schoolers of today, they're going to get lost in the middle. No house, no homes, because nobody solved it today. Us. No industry. No life skills. No work ethic. No sturdiness. No athletic mental fortitude. No, that stuff. You know? And in the changing worlds of coming tomorrow, I promise on everything, Siskiyou County, watch. Everybody's going to have these freaking meta glasses in your school, in elementary school and in high school. And when that happens, your schools will start to put up barriers like No cell phones. Cell phones will become extinct in a year. That's wild to think about. That's wild to think about. That old tech, that cell phones of today is going to become old, like a CD player, like a VCR, like the phone that did this with the one cord in the kitchen. That's what cell phones are going to become. And that's like in 1 or 2 years. Like it's not that far off. Less than 5 years for sure. And then everybody's going to have these classes. And that's coming to Siskiyou County, which means if you're 40 years old and in Siskiyou County and 9 out of 10 of you don't believe anything that I'm saying, and nobody wants to, I'm going to try and encourage you in our generation to desperately start to master ChatGPT, to desperately start to master building your own app, to desperately start to master getting AI general contractors and 10 subcontractors, employees, to desperately start to master, maybe not next year, maybe not this year, because Siskiyou County is what it is, but maybe the following year, you're going to end up getting one of these damn Meta glasses, Google glasses, AI glasses. And as uncomfortable as even I feel, I almost feel like I don't have a choice. You do have a choice, but I almost feel like I don't, because the 3 out of 5 council members in every small town in Siskiyou County that needs to be 45 to 55 or 35 to 55, somewhere in there, you almost need to have glasses, just so that you can see the challenges of today and use the elders of today to ground it. I don't know if that makes any sense, but if you cannot relate to the teenagers and the elementary school of today and of tomorrow and learn their challenges and then use the elders to find solutions, we're going to end up, most small towns in Siskiyou County is already on track for this. You're already on a pathway towards losing 2 generations, and nobody is talking about this. The baby boomers, which we love so much, has no choice. You're graduating. You're on a freaking graduation party. You're gone. And why would you stay here? I would rather go. There's nothing we can do to stop them. Stop that happening on the whole planet. It's awesome. But there's also a huge transfer of resources. And then the younger generation, if they cannot move into all the houses of all the older generations because of ridiculous fire insurance, because $500,000 houses, because of the wonderful things he does, then we are going to end up losing our younger generations, and they're going to end up going to Medford or Redding, or they're going to end up going to Eugene or Sacramento. And right now, in 1 decade, we are already projected out to lose about close to 50%. We know that at least close to 50% is our baby boomers. We know that. So let's just say 30%. Well, our county is only 40,000 people. Let's say you only lost 25% in 1 decade. That's 10,000 people. Our county just dropped to 30,000. And I don't think our county can even handle that. They're going to raise all kinds of property taxes because of it. And then because of that, in the next generation, the kids won't be able to afford it. And there's no new industry because no one is talking about it today. So everybody that wants to leave comments underneath here after what I just said, I'll see you at council. That's always my answer, you know. I'll see you there. I'll see you at your community dinner where you get the city council members to come and speak to 20, 30 people, and you provide dinner. And you go get a tiny house on wheels and you drag it over there and help the younger generation. When you do that, I'll respect you and I'll come. Until then, Just if you have nothing nice to say, keep it to yourself. And because we're here pushing Mount Shasta to become sustainable. We already have affordable housing, which is income-based townhomes, 24 units at Danko. That's income-based qualified housing. So you have to make county is 45,000 or less. If you make that, you qualify for those townhomes. The other one is the Landing. They're getting about 50 units plus. That's the Powers Group. That is worker qualified housing, 50 plus. It's going to take 4 or 5 years, but there's going to be like 8 different public comment sections so that they get an understanding of what we want. So when these things start moving in that direction, I'll let you all know. And lastly, alternative housing. And in 2026, I'm going to start pushing shipping container housing, passing the laws between Planning Commission, First and Second Reading Councils, and other different little projects along the way in 2026. And so you have affordable and you have alternative. Affordable is income qualified and worker qualified affordable. And then you have alternative housing, which tiny house on wheels, shipping containers, teepees, geodomes. I don't care. Make it. Because they're also affordable and because I can help save the next generation. And so, because of that, movement has to evolve. And so we feel confident that in the middle of winter, a lot of the ironing out and rhythmic resources that we have is becoming ironed out. It's less of a stop sign, it's less of a speed bump, and it's more like a green light, which is what we want in winter, to learn all this stuff now so that by spring and by summer, when the wave comes in, we already have a container. We already have a cup ready to hold it, the torch. So it's a lot of work and it's good. It's a lot of pressure, but it's good. We have our days. I have my days, but that's okay. And so happy Monday, happy last days of December. And we are now moving into New Year's 2026 solutions. And we're looking good overall. I think we are looking good. And the word's getting out. So that's good. All right. Love and light. I got to go back to work and do stuff. And hope you guys have a happy New Year's and Merry Christmas. All right. Love and light. Be good. Be kind. Forgive others. Deuces.